to public speaking?
Most speakers make one major mistake when they get on stage. They never recover from it. And Perry, actually, you reminded me of that. You're talking about how you can get nervous coming up on stage. And I was the same way when I joined Toastmasters many years ago. In fact, outside of this club, I joined Toastmasters and I was nervous because I'd start saying, hey, me, let's talk about me, it's all about me, baby, talk about me, and I'm talking about me, and then sometime I'll wind down to like 2 minutes of that. It's like, I got nothing else. I'm mead out. You ever been mead out? You're talking all about yourself and suddenly you just realize that that's it? Now, maybe Perry, you're a little deeper. You can just go on me all the time, but at a certain point, you're like, I said what I have to say. Now what do? I got a 5 to 7 minute speech, or I got a 10 minutes to take up, or 5 minutes, or what do? So there I was. And you know what happened? Me, and then I got kind of smaller. Like, me. Keep on going. A little nervous, a little scared up there, a little tense. And then this sort of thing, and this, and the more it went on, it's like one of those guys having to go to the bathroom. People have to go to the bathroom. It's like, oh, I gotta get through this speech, but I can't stand it. A bit like that. Maybe not that extreme, but like that. And it happened. And I thought, why is this happening? I mean, I'm supposed to get up here and it's all about me, right? I'm supposed to get up here. I'm supposed to tell you what to do. My job is to speak. Your job is to shut up and listen. That's the way it works. Problem was, I didn't have a lot much to say, and people didn't always want to hear. So what do? I didn't know. But I went to Toastmasters. I thought they were going to help me out about that. How do you figure out about it? Pat, I need to keep on going and Toastmasters, and it wasn't helping. But then one day, I did discover a book by a guy called Craig Valentine. And if you've heard any Spanish speeches before, you know about Craig Valentine. He's got this book called World Class Speaking. And in that book, World Class Speaking, there was a section of it, I'm going to paraphrase, that just jumped out at me. It's like the book was speaking to me and saying, Tim, here's the secret of speaking. And here's all it said. It said, Tim, when you're speaking, make sure you create a conversation with your audience. Now think about that. Create a conversation with your audience. That's a little different from telling everybody to shut up and listen, right? Someone to shut up and listen to the boss, saying, hey, I'm going to tell you everything's going on. Conversation is different. It's equal, right? You ever feel pressured in a conversation that you've got to do something? The conversation's bad, you just walk away, right? And when you stop talking, ideally, they will start talking. That's how a conversation works. You say something, they say something, it goes back and forth. So the pressure is off you. So if you give speeches the same way you give conversations, there's no pressure on you. So here's the real secret. Most people think the speech is all about them. Truth is, speech is all about you. And once you realize that, Perry, you'll never be nervous again.
Agree.
You bet. Because all of a sudden it's all about you. It's not about me. It's not my pressure to get up here and perform and do things great. It's just about you. Create that conversation with your audience. Pastor looks a little puzzled about it, but it's okay. It's all right. It's simple. And you've heard some great examples of it. David has some great examples about it. You just talk about, you might be wondering. How do you create a conversation with your audience? Well, use phrases like, you might be wondering. I was thinking. Great. You might be wondering. External conversations, it's all about you talk, the audience listens, and the audience talks, and you listen. Drop names, beautiful job there too, talking to Pat, talking to Mark. All of a sudden, all the focus is on Mark. Focus is off of you. When David says Mark, boom, all the focus is there. That's a conversation. That's that back and forth. And if you just do that, you'll discover it's so much easier up here. So I started doing that. Started creating that conversation with the audience. Started saying, my goal up here is not to be the center of attention, not to speak for any set amount of time. My goal is simply to have a conversation with the audience. Well, I'll talk, and then the audience will have an opportunity to talk. or react, or think. And if I pause, it's okay. It just gives them that much more thinking time. When I started doing that, I discovered the pressure was off of me. And all of a sudden I was more confident. It wasn't me, it was you. And if it was you, it was like, no big deal. And the more conversational it became, the more one-on-one it became, the more relaxed I became, the more comfortable I became, less of a big deal. And then I got in a situation where I could just get up and do speeches like that because I knew I only have to do half of the speech. The rest of it is you. Your reaction, your names, all of that sort of thing. So you only need to do a 10-minute speech, 5 minutes you, 5 minutes them. Pressure's off you. And once you start doing that, you'll discover a new sense sensation on stage, a new confidence on stage. And people amazingly will come to you afterwards and say, I love that speech, it was so great. Well, of course they loved it. It's all about them. Who doesn't love a speech all about them? And once you get that confidence, that certainty of being able to do your speech up here, it is so simple when you start thinking about creating that conversation with your audience, taking the pressure off yourself, focusing everything, what's your audience going to get out of this? Your answer should be, is what's your audience going to learn at the end of your speech? They should learn something. They should be better off from having heard you. That's it. Once you start creating that conversation, your audience get new confidence, new certainty in what you're doing. So you're speaking, you want to really make that connection. Remember, it's not me. It's you.
It's a great speech for a first timer.